welcome back to Stone Cottage Studios. Joining us today is Benjamin and Kassie of Goldpine. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Cool spot you got here.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. What is your guys' songwriting process like? What inspires you to write songs, and I don't know, what does the music give you?
I would say, as we're going through our regular days, there might be, at least for me, there might be something that catches my eye that makes me think in a way that I never thought before. Or I think of something ironic or something like, people need to know this sort of thing. And I might just come up with an idea, flesh it out with a couple lines, maybe a verse or whatnot. And after that, I bring it to Kassie a lot of times, and we kind of round the whole thing out from there. I'm always looking for music ideas. Like, I'm always trying to have my antennas up. In fact, if you look at my iPhone notes, it's just full of old ideas, which is great because when you have writer's block, you just go back to your notes and like, oh, these things are sparking all of these memories that I had about these song ideas. So I'm always trying to stay on top of it. What about your process, Cass?
I'm not as disciplined as Ben is, but I mean, I get inspired sometimes by other songs or like movie lines. Like someone will say something and I'm like, oh, and I get my phone out and I'll put that in my notes. But I really love to write straight from the heart. So when something like affects me emotionally, like if, honestly, it's like I use music as therapy and free therapy, that is. But it's like when I go through something really hard or really tough and I'm really sad, that's when I want to write, which is not, doesn't always bring out the happiest, up-tempo songs, but we need those songs too. And so I just try to be straight from the heart and honest and really vulnerable with what I'm going through because I know I'm not the only person going through it. And so for me, that's when I like to write the most. But Ben's really good about keeping us on track, and we try to write a couple times a week. And another thing that Ben tends to do in his notes on his phone, his voice memo, he'll have stuff that we had worked on sometimes 10 years ago. And then he'll be like, I was listening to these and I revisited and I think we need to look at this song again. And I'm like, what? Wow, I forgot about that song. And some of those songs made the album the first album. So it's good that he keeps all those so we can circle back around.
Totally. Yeah. I like the word that you said, vulnerable. I feel like I relate with that in my writing a lot, and that's been a big process for me in music, is especially in singing. I feel like singing is kind of inherently always a very vulnerable thing, So it's like really embracing that and trusting yourself, and then also keeping your antenna up. All your antennas, right? Because it's like that's how we're that's how we're gaining insight into all these different things to try and write music. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's like if you don't keep your antennas up, then you're kind of gonna run dry on some things, and then you're gonna realize that you're 6-8 months behind where you should be. If you're a musician, doing it full time, and like you really got to keep putting stuff out, because I know when I listen to artists, I love this one record and I want to hear more, like in a year and a half,
Totally.
And sometimes it's like an artist will come out with a record and then forever they won't come out with another one. It's like, that's too bad, you want to keep it going.
Yeah, that's why it always amazes me how professional musicians like yourselves are able to go on tour and be moving and going to new places and venues and playing their last music while at the same time, still being like, okay, we're going to sit down today and like try and write some new stuff, I don't know. I just love that.
It's hard.
Yeah, I believe it.
Hard,
it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we, sing so many shows a week on the road, and then there's several days a week where we're doing music business stuff, emailing, marketing, all sorts of stuff, promoting, and also songwriting. I mean, like, we have to make it a point to really make it a point to songwrite.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like I don't want to fall behind,
Which can easily happen because we do everything. Like, we are our team. I mean, we have a booking agent, but the rest of it, we do everything. And so it can be very consuming, and it can be so easy to be like, oh, we can write next week. Ben doesn't let that happen. He stays on us. Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
Ben for president.
How long have you guys been a team together for in music and in life?
Let's see. We have been together 16 and a half years. And in June, we'll be celebrating our 15-year wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
We'll be in Montana. And we've been doing music full time for a little over 10 years. But people always ask, they're like, did music bring y'all together? And that's not how we met. So we met 16 and a half years ago at a small, tiny startup church that was meeting in the cafeteria of a school because it didn't even have a building yet. And there was maybe 20 people on a good day that went there. And I was just visiting, and Ben was playing in the praise and worship band, which consisted of 2 people, him and Brother Leroy. And I was like, he is so cute. He was so cute that I was able to look past his yellow polo shirt, brown khakis, and white K-Swiss shoes. I was able to look past
Those
it.
would be back in style right now.
Yeah, well, that's 17 years ago.
That sounds pretty fashionable, if you ask me.
He kept those.
There you go.
He
Thank
kept
you.
those K-Swiss shoes for
I'm
like.
wearing right now.
No, those are like your grandpa's.
Oh, yeah,
those
these
are
are the-
ponies.
these are ponies.
They're terrible. Please don't encourage him. He kept those K-Swiss look for so long, and then he was like, then he made them his mowing shoes, and I was like, burn those shoes. How did I even get there? I don't know. Squirrel.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was a great story, though. I love it. I love it. It gives me hope that love is real, you know? Yeah. Totally.
Good, I'm glad.
You guys got to sing the national anthem at a Kansas City Chiefs game on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. Or
Yeah.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Just a month ago.
Yeah.
And we submitted a video of us singing the national anthem. And the Chiefs got back and asked us to do it on New Year's Eve. And we were surprised, honored. We thought it was maybe a scam. I'm trying to call up the Chiefs and see, does Kayla really work for the Chiefs?
He really did.
And it was a real, obviously. And it was an amazing experience. I mean, we were able to go into Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City during the day when nobody was in the stadium at all, do sound check. That was a cool experience.
It was
being in
amazing.
an empty Arrowhead Stadium. I had a ton of family and friends that are able to go on the field.
Which is crazy that they would let them do that, you know. They were just they rolled out the red carpet. And I know they do it for everybody, and it's just they do it right. I couldn't believe it. They flew us up there, they put us up at a hotel, they got us jerseys with our name on the back. Oh, it was so awesome. And then just being able to be on the field, it was nuts because we're literally right here beside the players. You know, there's 76,000 people. Taylor Swift's there. And I mean, who is your favorite player on the team? Mine is Taylor Swift. I don't know about yours. But it was just the adrenaline rushing, because people always ask, they're like, were you nervous? Because you looked cool as a cucumber. I straight up thought we were going to be so nervous. And I was like, I figured it would happen, but we weren't. The energy that you're getting in that moment, I can't believe that Taylor Swift performs to a crowd like that every night. As Americana singers, you know, we usually perform to 50 to 100 people at our shows. And so 76,000 was crazy. It was an honor to sing the national anthem for them, and they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't even fathom. I mean, it's so to be able to feel the contrast of the energy in the stadium to the sound check to then being in that moment,
Yeah.
you know, big time.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. We were speaking earlier. I didn't even know that you were able to just submit a video or submit a song to be able to get looked at, to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know either, but I just went on Google and I was like, I'm just going to look at opportunities. And I was like, we've toured in Kansas and Missouri, and we've did some artist in residencies. in around there, and so we are in that. We have like a heart for the states, because I call them states. They're literally like the same state. It's like you're here and then you're the next one. But so when I was thinking of a team that I would want to sing for, that's who we wanted to. Never did we think that they would respond. And so, yeah, people just have to, if you want to do something like that, look and see if it's possible, because it is. No one's going to get it for you unless you believe in yourself.
I love it. Yeah, my mom has this saying that the squeaky wheel is heard, and the squeaky wheel gets fixed and gets attention. And I think that's a testament to your guys' story and to any musicians or artists that are out there that, you know, it just takes that it takes that step to put yourself in the light to even be gifted an opportunity, you know, and that's beautiful. So Goldpine, thank you so much for being here at Stone Cottage, and thank you to everyone who is supporting local and touring musicians and allowing us to continue to do this. I'll hand it over to you guys for some music.
All right.
Thank you.
Love.
It was 1961. I was staring out into those snow-white fields. That December cold was seeping through the cracks of window sills. I can still feel the calloused hands that brought this child upon this very land. And I can hear the hum of harvesters every time I think of my granddad. Well, my father never asked for this, but generations said it was his lot. So from morning sunny till the fields, but to call himself a farmer, that winter eve I looked out as he drove that for sale sign in the ground. And as I stood there watching him, my tears that fell down didn't make a sound. Well, sometimes when something is lost, for someone else it's found. I can understand how to sacrifice yourself for someone else. This life is made of seasons, and some of them don't really suit us well. We sold that farm in the Midwest and settled down in northern Omaha. Daddy picked up steel-toed boots and never put his hand back on the plow. Well, sometimes when something is lost, for someone else it's found. My father learned the weight of laying down to rest his youngest son. Someday I will give my brother's name to one of my own children. I saw Jesus on the city bus, and I told him I was alright for now. I had plans for the next few years, but we both knew that I was nowhere bound. times when something is lost, for someone else it's found.
He's the entertainer, he's a face, he's a clown, he's a string of lyrics, he's a sound. Now the lights are out and the stage is torn down. He doesn't know who he is with no one around. He doesn't know who he is with no one around. He's played the country bars in every town, but he wakes up every morning and he's lost everything he found. He doesn't know who he is with no one around. He can blame it on the smoke and the mirrors that hang around a God-forsaken career. But the toll it takes is framed with lonesome tears. It's a hurt that lasts from year to year. He doesn't know who he is with no one around. He's played the country bars in every town, but he wakes up every morning, oh, and he's lost everything he's found. He doesn't know who he is with no one around. He doesn't know who he is with no one around. He's played the country bars in every town, but he wakes up every morning, oh, and he's lost everything he'd found. He doesn't know who he is with no one around. He doesn't know who he is with no one around. Man, I can just never see it coming. The way that I let it slip through my hands ain't funny. And if I ever am willing, I might find the regret compelling. Maybe somewhere down the line,
'cause I'm already up ahead where I'll be going. But when I should have arrived, I still see it out on the horizon. Somewhere down the line, sometimes I think I might just be sleepwalking. By the way that I don't hear when God is knocking, I'll be asking for a sign, but I'll be dreaming at the very same time of some